Hey everyone, welcome. By this time, you should have already have taken care of your notes, your lesson three, excuse me. So review unit, lesson three. Remember, you can get that through Teams. It says notes, math videos. Go ahead and sort. Savage, unit review. And this time you want your lesson three. All right, your lesson three notes. If you got that taken care of, you've seen the long division. So let's practice it together here. So if we look at question number one that you got, it says 67 divided by 4. So when we set this on up, because we're dividing by our 4, the 4 is going to be on the outside. Our 67 is going to be on the inside. And remember, this is where we break things up into chunks. So we start with our first place over there. How many groups of 4 can we take out of a 6? Well, we can only take 1 out. Remember, the goal is as many groups as you can, but you've got to stay under that amount. If I do 2 groups, I'm at 8. I've gone over. So 4 times 1, we multiply, we subtract, we bring down the next number. And then we repeat the process. But this time I got the number 27 that's there. Okay, how many groups of 4 can I take out of 27? 5, that's 20. 6, 24. All right, 7, 28, that's too much. Okay, so, all right, we're going to do a 6 that's there. So that's 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, you get a 3. All right, now, because we are out of numbers, we're going to add a decimal point. We're going to push the decimal point up. We now can add a 0 because now we haven't changed the value of the numbers. Yeah, it's still the number 67. 67 and 0 tenths is still 67. So now we can bring down the next number. Again, how many groups of 4 can I take out of 30? In this case, I'll say 7. So 7 times 4 is 28. We'll subtract. I'll get a 2. Again, I can add a 0 and bring it down because, again, 67 and 0 hundredths is the same as 67. And I smile here. I smile. How many groups of 4 can you take out of 20? We can take 5 of them. Show is over because 5 times 4 is 20. That means there's nothing that is left. So 16 and 75 hundredths would be my answer I'm looking at. All right. So remember, we have to add decimals. All right. We'll have to add zeros, but again, that doesn't change the value of the number. So that's okay to do. We can do that. So if we look at the second question that we've got here, what we're going to be doing here is, again, set it on up. All right. My eraser's not working. Hold on a second here. Okay, we're back here. Decided to go full screen mode here for you so we can see it. So looking at question number 2, again, we're going to set it up. We're dividing by 3, so our 3 is on the outside, and our 16 is going to be underneath our division symbol. When I check the first number, it's a 1. How many groups of 3 can I take out of 1? I can't take any. So we're actually going to use the first 2 numbers here, which is 16. So how many groups of 3 can I take out of 16? Well, you should be saying 5. So because it's 16, it's going to go above the 6. So multiply, get 15, subtract, and we bring down our next number. Except I don't have a next number. So remember, we can add our decimal. We're going to push our decimal up. We can now add our 0, and we can bring down the next number. The next number here is a 0. Remember, when you are adding numbers, as long as you are to the right of the decimal, you can add zeros, and it does not change the value of it. So repeat the process. How many groups of 3 can I take out of 10? Well, 3 of them. So 3 times 3 is 9. All right, we're going to subtract. And again, bring down the next number, which is our 0. Now, some of you might notice that there's a 10 who showed up here again. All right, so some of you kind of realize that this is that repeating decimal. Let's pretend you didn't notice it. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, how many groups of 3 can I take out of 10? You're like, hey, wow, I just did this. I can take 3 of them out. 3 times 3 is 9. Wow, the exact same thing is happening all over again. So you can continue the division for the rest of your life, or you can make use of that repeating bar. So remember, the repeating bar is the line that goes above what keeps happening over and over again. It's a way of saying, I've had enough. All right, let's move on with the problem. If you notice it sooner, you might have written this out with here, but again, they mean the same thing because the to the right of the decimal, it's saying there's a 3 and then nothing but 3s. Here, to the left, or to the right, how you look, there's a 3 and there's nothing but 3s. So again, lots of options here. If I look at it with the repeating bar, the main thing is there's nothing to the right. Okay, and the last one that we've got here. This guy's a little bit different because, well, we're not dividing by a whole number. So here we go. The other problems, the number on the outside, what we were dividing by was a whole number, whether it was a 3 or whether it was a 4. And this time it's a decimal, so it's 200. So we don't actually divide with the decimal. So mathematically, what we're doing here is we need to make it into a whole number. So to make it into a whole number, I actually have to move that decimal to the right. So I want to move it to the right twice, which means we're actually multiplying by 100. So if we multiply 100 on the outside, we also have to multiply by 100 on the inside. So you can do that and be like 7 and 8 tenths times 100 and go through the process. Well, here's the thing, people. If you move the decimal 2 places on the outside, you're also going to move it 2 places on the inside as well. So let's rewrite the problem. It's really a 2 out there. All right, and because our decimal is here now, it's not a 7 and 8 tenths, it's actually 780. So that's the actual division problem doing. So anytime we notice that you are dividing by a decimal, you need to rewrite the problem and make it into a whole number. There we go. How many groups of 2 can I take out of 7? How about 3? Because 2 times 3 is 6. Track, bring down the next number. How many groups of 2 can I take out of 18? Exactly 9. Now be careful here, be careful. You got a 0. Okay, that doesn't mean that we're done though, because we haven't finished bringing all of our numbers down. Even though the next number is a 0, 0 still matter, people. We're not to the right of the decimal. We're part of the original number. So when I bring down that 0, how many groups of 2 can I take out of 0? Well, we can take 0. All right, and there we go. Show's over 390. Estimation is important here because let's think about it. If you stopped and you had 39, wow, 39 groups. All right. No, that seems too small. 390 groups we can take out of that 780. So again, does my answer seem realistic? Definitely a good thing there. We can even go back to question number 2 and be like, ooh, we can take about 5 of them out. And then I can see it when I look at my answer, it's about 5. So again, estimation, strong technique here. All right, people, get on into your classwork. Make sure you're paying attention to your directions that are given in your homework website. So it's doing it again where I can't find the off button that's there. It's kind of humorous, actually. It's supposed to, if I just put my cursor there, it's supposed to show up, but it's not. But it's not. So I'd pause it. I would just stop the video here. You can watch me search for it. All right. It's supposed to be right there. It says it's going to appear in a second, but it hasn't still. Let's see if this does it. You hiding? No, not there. Oh, see, there you are.